You know, if you're planning on coming down here to Mexico, especially on the Pacific side, the easiest place to land is Mazatlan. And then from there, you literally just come north to either one of the resorts, either to Serena or to Cordon. You don't have to bring a lot of gear. The nice thing about coming here to El Salto Lake is that they have a whole menu of the right lures that you need to take with you. I mean, these largemouth are so nice. You know, I'm taking it for granted that we're getting, on the average, the smaller fish are 3 to 3.5 pounds, the larger fish 5 to 7 pounds, and the trophy fish here, I'd say 8 to 12. So it's kind of nice when, you know, if there's two of you in the boat, just like we've got Barb and I today, that you get into areas like this where you've got different waters to cast. Instead of casting your lure one on top of the other, you pick one side. For example, I'm working the left side, Barb's working the right side. She's target casting with her spinning outfit, trying to get her top water to within about a foot of the shore. I'm using a bait caster and casting to the left side. So this way we're very efficient. Good sized fish, Barb. Look at the size of that monster. Bass. Yes, even if he gets off.
Oh, no, it's not going to get off.
Just to see such big largemouth.
It's so beautiful.
You know, we're fishing here on El Salto, having a wonderful time, casting topwaters. We're playing around using plastic worms, wacky worms, crankbaits. Now we've been throwing topwaters because Geraldo, our guide, said that we've got bright sunny skies and it's perfect conditions for these topwaters. You might want to get the camera ready, Barb. I know I'm thinking ahead.
Yes.
And we're getting these huge bass. For those of you that love to bass fish, maybe you've seen bass shows from different parts of Mexico. I gotta tell you, this is what trophy Mexico bass fishing is all about. And we're staying at Cardon Lodge, and we're fishing this beautiful lake. It's called El Salto. And the fishing is like this all winter long when it's not raining. Isn't that a gorgeous fish? Look at that. Barbara, I'm going to take a quick measurement.
Okay.
And then we'll take a nice photo. Now, even though we're taking photos of this fish, we're going to get it back in the water really quick. So this is a live release trophy largemouth fishery. What you got to do is bring your wife down here so you can get really good pictures of the fish. Look, did he want that skitter pop? Let me just put him over my shoulder to hold him up. Isn't that amazing? He just inhaled that lure. You know, though, we can't take all the credit, right, Barb? We've got great guides.
We do have good guides.
Yeah. Okay, let me just take the hooks out.
They're putting us on fish. That's right, left, and center.
This is amazing.
Big fish.
So, Italo, how big do you think that fish is?
9-pounder.
8-pounder. That's not bad. Here, he's just going to turn into a 10-pounder. There you go. That's a beautiful Mexico largemouth.
With the mountains in behind.
That's
awesome
amazing.
scenery.
The scenery and everything.
Oh,
I'm going to get him into the water right here. Trying to get my breath. Look at him. You talk about a bucket mouth, no problem getting your whole fist in there. I'm going to try turning him this way. Look at that. What a gorgeous creature. Barbara, aren't they beautiful?
They are.
Wow. I'm going to suspend him a little bit. You know, when you get bass in the 2 feet long range, look at it. It's like a slab. Watch him take off. You know what? Some other fisherman is going to hook him. Look at that. That's beautiful. There are two interesting schools of thought when it comes to using fishing line. Some people prefer to use monofilament fishing line because it's a larger diameter and it stretches. And if you have it on your reel, like a bait caster, and you go to set the hook, there's less of a chance of the line going down into the layers below because it's a thicker line. Other people like myself prefer the low diameter of a braided line, and I try to reel it on really tight on my reel so that even when I set the hook really hard on a big fish, it won't go down onto the other layers. Okay, now two very important things when you're using braided line down here on Lake El Salto for largemouth bass, but even back home for a variety of fish. If you're going to be fishing with a soft plastic bait, what I've got here is a classic swim bait, just big. This one is an 8-inch, and you can see that I've got an 8/0 hook. This is a worm hook, and it's rigged up so that the hook is right parallel with the top of the swim bait. You can see that. Now, because I'm using a swim bait and because there's no treble hooks, what I've done is tie my braided line directly to the eye of the hook. Okay? Now, the reason I've done that is because when I toss this out, there's no way, even if this flips over itself, for any exposed hook to catch the line. And the line is very strong. And here at El Salto, the visibility is about 1 foot in the water. So you don't have to worry about using a fluorocarbon leader because the fish are going to be seeing the line. Now, when it comes to using a lure with multiple trebles, for example, today both Barb and I caught lots of fish on the Rapala Skitter Pop, and it has 2 treble hooks, and it's actually a very light lure. It's made out of balsa wood. And a lot of times if you cast crosswind or into the wind, there's a chance of it flipping over itself, or at least planing, not always going rear end first. So that's when I had a piece of fluorocarbon. This particular one is about 2 feet long, and there's a blood knot connecting it to the braid. So I'm not using the fluorocarbon here because I need it because of the clear water. I'm using it because it's stiff, so that if the lure flips over itself, it's less likely to catch the fluorocarbon leader. So whether you're using a slash bait like the X-Rap, Husky Jerk, or any lure, even a crankbait with 2 trebles, I would encourage you to use 20 or 30 pound fluorocarbon down here. Also, if you're going to fluorocarbon, it needs to be heavy enough because there's so much timber. The last thing that I want to talk about is the hooks. Really important. You know, today we hooked a lot of trees. It's inevitable because when you're casting into the wind, sometimes you're going to get a curve, we call it a slice and gulf, and you're going to go into a tree. If your hooks are really strong, you're going to impale it into the tree. The other thing where hooks are really important is if you hook a nice bass, and both Barb and I did that, and a lot of times when the bass take off away from the shoreline and they're below the surface, they go into a tree that's submerged. Can't see it. And today I was fortunate because I had 1 or 2 fish do that, and I was able to pull them off the wood. So you want a hook that's strong but still has some flexibility, so that if one of the hooks, especially when you've hooked a fish, catches onto a piece of wood underwater, if you pull on it gently, the hook should open up a little bit, and hopefully the ones that are in the fish past the barb won't open up, and you'll land your fish. Those are just a few tips to help you catch more fish no matter where you fish.